So welcome back, folks. Today I'm taking a look at Justin Bieber and a little bit on Hailey too. I just had a couple of questions. Let's see, 5 questions. My first one is, who is he really? Who is Justin Bieber really when it's just him and Hailey by themselves? I'm getting already a sensation that they already spend some time apart. Now, I understand that they just announced that they're having, or Hailey announced that she's having a baby. I don't know if they announced it together necessarily. Again, something I should say is that I'm not a fan of either one of them, but I do want to see them have their best lives. I do want to see them reach their highest goods. I'd love to see them in constant contact with the universe. That'd be badass as hell. So that's why I'm doing this kind of read. I want to see what they could do. I'd like to help us all learn by their example on what we can do to reach our highest selves. And that's why I do these kinds of VIP readings. So, who is Justin Bieber? Was just him and Hailey by themselves at home. And I'm going to focus on Justin, but on a later date, I can talk about Hailey too. And right away, I'm not terribly happy about him getting the cycles card, just endless cycles. With this particular case, the stork migrates from warm climate to warm climate depending on what the season is, and during the colder climate, right? So it makes cycles constantly. It migrates back and forth constantly. And it's interesting that I talk about migrates because alongside stork, and by the way, I'm reading on the horizontal level, so this is the current reality that he's facing or that he's participating in right now. And I say participating in because I don't feel like there's, please don't think that I'm being insulting, but I don't think that he thinks too hard about what's going on in life. I think that he just kind of goes with the flow and that he just repeats cycles that his family, that his family have established for him. With tree, that's about generations in a family, and I'm absolutely getting that he's repeating in some ways generational trauma, but also generational karmic cycles. I don't think that he's even aware, and I don't know that he would care if someone tried to make him aware. Okay, so again, I'm not trying to be insulting, but I do also want to see him reach his highest good, and sometimes that means being honest. So it's interesting. This lands on the house of the house, which is also about what goes on behind closed doors. There's definitely something changing. So with the ship, even though he repeats cycles, things are changing in the directions of the cycles that he repeats, which means that he is falling in with fate. He's not changing his destiny. There is a difference between those two things, and I understand that they're often used interchangeably. But he's doing the same things that his parents or his mom or his mom did with her grandma, and so on and so forth. This is something that's been repeated now over generations. How he acts towards himself, to others, besides Hailey, for instance. This is what he's seen, and he imitates the behavior because he doesn't see anything wrong with it. And I just got into my head, there's the real risk that he could be an absent dad to this baby. It's really tragic. My eyes are being drawn from the top row to the middle row down to the bottom row in a diagonal leading towards the future. I've got coffin, I've got stork, and I've got moon. He holds down his emotions. He doesn't listen to his intuition. He does what he can to shut it away, and he does this repeatedly. He has done this repeatedly his whole life. He is almost at the mercy, in some cases, of people who think faster, plan better, are more savvy with material resources, not just money. I don't get the feeling that he thinks too hard about anything at all, because he's always been taken care of, because a lot of people's income depend on his success, so they will lift him up, they will carry him forward. He expects an easy life because that's how it's always been. So he doesn't need to think with his heart. He doesn't need to feel too deep of an emotion. But here's the thing. On his bottom row, bookending, I'll show you the card in just a second. This is the bottom horizontal row, okay? So this is what's moving subconsciously. You've got Scythe and you've got Moon. He can get kind of aggressive when his emotions are forced to come out, and that doesn't have anything necessarily to do with another person causing his emotional meltdown. And I don't know why I said meltdown. He's still having meltdowns at his age. He doesn't show this to the public, but sometimes it gets out to the public anyway, unintentionally or not. I just get the feeling that he thinks very much, I got boy child, boy man. I'm not trying to be insulting, but this individual can do better. I don't know. He's been given plenty of opportunities to become better, but I don't know that he'll choose to because life is so easy for him. He can get aggressive. He shuts down emotions as they come up. If for some reason something comes through his intuition, he even starts to listen to it, he shuts it down. And here's the card between the Scythe and the Moon on the bottom row. There's Hailey. He doesn't appear in his own reading. Animus would appear in this particular deck. The Man card would normally appear in this particular. I'm working with the 7th sphere Lenormand. Let me show you the box. It's kind of faded, but that's what it looks like. Okay? He doesn't appear in his reading. She does. She's using her intuition, and this is why I've been saying that they're not if I haven't already said it, I'm saying it now. They're not in a good place. She's facing the Scythe. She's looking back at the past and thinking, what could I have done to have made things better for myself, because this ain't it, Chief. And while he's not using his intuition, she is. She is tapped into her emotions, into her intuition. She still has a great deal of love for herself in a positive light. She takes self-care of herself emotionally, mentally. Maybe not as, she does do some spiritual work, possibly shadow work. I don't know that she is of the faith that even talks about shadow work, but she might be doing like Kundalini work within herself. There might be something that she's coming to a realization on, and she's not talking about it. She's keeping her mouth closed now because she's evaluating any movements that she needs to make. And I just got the phrase child support in my mind. She's trying to evaluate how to get the most child support out of Justin Bieber when she does leave him. It's kind of a really sad reading just right off the bat. If I wanted to know who is he really behind closed doors, they do fight a lot. They're not happy about, yes, they are. They're sort of happy, they're sort of not about this baby coming in, because she knows it's an extra burden because he doesn't care as much. I don't get the feeling that he's particularly excited about this kid because it's something that she wants, not necessarily what he wants. He doesn't care either way. He's not invested in this kid's life already. Tragic. Really, really sad. It doesn't have to be this way. Now, this is interesting. He's obsessed with his female fans. There might be someone, and I'm reading on a vertical level. I've got in the middle, in his present era, right now, he's got Bouquet, Stork, and Anima. Obsessed with female fans. There might not be someone that he's cheating with yet, but that he definitely has his eye on. He's already getting ready. He sees the writing on the wall when it comes to Hailey, and he's expecting her to leave any day. Possibly not before the baby's born, depending on what's said in the home behind the scenes. But maybe she will. It's going to be up to her. She might be making a choice in that direction. She might not be. It depends on what choices they make before that happens. It's tragic, dude. I'm continuing to read this from a multitude of directions. There's some kind of contract that he doesn't want to talk about with his fans. Something written in stone, so to speak, possibly on actual physical paper, because they want to, whoever made him sign this contract wants to be able to whip those documents out, I should say, and take him to a lawyer to sue him for all he's worth if he breaks a particular contract with his fans. This is all surface level shit. He doesn't care. He does care. He's worried about money, but that's about it. I don't get the feeling that he cares very much about himself. If he's not working on himself spiritually, it's possible that there's more underneath that he's not working on too. Right? Because spirituals, that's pretty third eye kind of stuff. He might not even be taking care of his heart at all. Definitely not thinking too hard. He's just kind of someone who floats downriver. A dead fish can float downstream. I don't like being harsh, man. But this isn't a positive situation either. Something about the past. This is in the vertical position. There's something that ended. Oh, his journey to self-improvement ended. He got a specific contract that he wanted, that made him famous, that gave him all the attention he felt like he never got at home. This emerges from some kind of Chiron wound. I didn't pull up his astrological natal chart or anything like that. I might do that later in a separate video, or I might just say, fuck it. This isn't someone who thinks too terribly hard, so I might not be able to find that much in an astrological chart reading for him. Once he got this particular contract, all bets were off. Any journey towards self-improvement stopped because people started taking care of him. Things got easy. It was all about the fans at that point for him, getting attention, getting lots of feminine attention. That's something that he has always craved. And even when he has Hailey, who seems to be a cool person, at least the universe sure thinks that she is cool. He doesn't care because it's not enough. He needs a constant, overwhelming amount of female adoration, or he doesn't feel fulfilled. I feel like he's a pretty shallow individual. Please don't be insulted. That's literally what the universe said. They said shallow. Fundamentally a shallow person. A mile wide, an inch deep. Okay. In the future, something about this contract is going to grow in places where people don't see them. There might be some risk. I'm looking back at the bouquet. It lands on top of the House of the Clover. There's some real risk and reward with this particular thing, and that's where I'm getting that lighthearted energy. Like, I don't care. I got what I want. Who cares what I'm burying? I got what I want. And that's all. Every time I think of him, I'm getting imagery of him being an adult but acting very much like a child. He's stuck back there, so to speak. Literally, mentally. He is literally stuck back there. He isn't such a great catch for Hailey. Not at all. She hitched her wagon to the wrong man, and she feels that now. Wow. So something about this contract is going to evolve and grow, and he's going to become more careless with how he operates around his family in the future because it grows. He's shallow enough that he feels like this contract, enjoying his physical resources, enjoying his wealth, material resources, that's going to be enough. That's all that's going to make him happy. And he won't think too hard about this. He's going to feel some kind of way, some emotions, but then he's going to push them down because there's something about Hailey breaking up with him that's going to really cause him to turtle up and go within his shell, clam up. Embarrassed, because I think that he kind of thinks of her as a trophy wife. And I'm not trying to be insulting towards him or to her, because she definitely thinks much harder. She's a very attractive woman. On the other hand, she has some real brains, she has some real heart, and it looks like at the very least she's doing some shadow work on herself, even if she isn't calling it that, and on her relationship too. This is rough. So I've already got one question answered. He's kind of a shallow individual, and I think that we've already gotten a little bit of a discussion on the state of their marriage too. So let me pull my Lenormand cards up and I'll lay down some tarot cards on the state of their marriage. So I am using the Light Seers Tarot to read for other parts of this particular video. I chose, Spirit guided me to the Light Seers Tarot to read for this question about their state of their marriage. And it's really kind of interesting because Justin is in the background of this reading, but this reading is about Hailey and not so much about him. Well, you'll never guess which card fell off. I'll tell you in just a second. Hailey shows up as the Emperor. This is her in the present state. As she is presently is what I should say. She's very much in charge of all of her kings. Specifically the King of Pentacles. He figures in this reading. We'll talk about him in just a second. The King of Swords. King of Cups. King of Wands too. She's got runs a pretty tight ship at home, and he just kind of goes along with it. She's kind of a mom figure and was long before they got pregnant. She knows what to do to move out of this situation and make herself happy, because this is pointing towards the future. It's upright. She knows what to do to make herself happy. To put herself back in the limelight in the way that she wants to be seen, and not as an attachment as the second mother figure for Justin. She knows what to do to make herself happy. The Emperor suggests that she's very much in charge at home, in addition to being in charge of her own life. This is him. He is an adult male, but in so many ways, he's a boy, a man-child. It's unfortunate, because he could be a really powerful intellectual. I know it's kind of interesting to see him that way, but if it's in reverse, then he's the opposite of being an intellectual. He's shallow, what I said earlier. He's a shallow thinker. He doesn't have to think that deep, have to think that hard, because there are other people around him who do that just fine. Now, I don't know, like I said earlier, that he's not going to particularly care one way or another, but he will care because of the reputation. Here's the card that fell off earlier. It's the Ten of Cups. The happy family image is going to fall off. Quite literally. And it's going to be embarrassing for him. She's going to feel great. That's going to be her empowerment moment. Here she is in the future. This is the Judgment card. She will up-level herself with the guidance possibly of the universe or whatever higher power she's working with. She's going to become a better person. And a lot of people are really going to love Hailey once she leaves. In the subconscious position underneath the Emperor, she's definitely saving up some resources for herself when she leaves with her and the baby. Possibly there might be more than one kid, but I'm getting from the universe, my guides, that they are strongly likely, this is strongly likely their first and last baby. Things could change. Different different things happen, right? People make choices and we're guided onto other paths because of those choices. In her advice card, she's advised to fall in love soon and to find someone who appreciates her and who is willing to give equal energy. I really feel like she gives the vast majority of the energy to this relationship, if not 100% of the relationship, together with Justin, and he doesn't contribute at all. And she's encouraged to find a love relationship that would be equal give and receive, right? This is in her environment card. She's in deep need of, she's needing someone that she can trust. This is about struggling to trust the universe, struggling to heal. Also, it's about struggling with her relationship to her star power. She really, really wants to be in private, and she would love to not have to had announced that she and Justin were pregnant. This is kind of a love-hate relationship with her status as a famous person, basically. Her status as a VIP, as a model, as a role model for others when she doesn't feel like she deserves to be a role model. In some ways, yes. In other ways, no. She's embarrassed by the position that she's found herself in, and she knows that people know about how Justin behaves in public and in private, and it embarrasses her to hell. Interesting. Her hopes and her fears are about earning money on her own. She wants to, and to be fair with it, being in the upright position, she has the tools to be this person who is completely in charge of her own finances. I've already pulled the Emperor for her to characterize her. So this is, I suspect that she's annoyed by and concerned of going public about her finances and how little she makes. Also, how much she depends on Justin for the lavish lifestyle that she enjoys right now. There's a lot that's been changed behind the scenes. It's possible that she's giving control to people who are in alignment with Justin, but not so much with her. And she's kind of afraid of what this could do to her in the future. If she doesn't get in charge of her own finances and bring her money back to her team, her part of, let's say, for instance, her own wealth manager instead of Justin's wealth manager. They've been kind of treating it as a joint wealth manager, but she needs to get her own if she's going to do well financially when she does break off things with Justin. Because she's going to tend to want to pull back and hide out a little bit. One, to recover from the end of the relationship with Justin, but also to raise her kid in some degree of privacy. I don't know that I feel like she has really mixed feelings about having this kid in such a public eye. It may be that she feels like her kid doesn't deserve the constant backlash, the constant attention. She feels like she needs a break, and so she wants to be able to give that to her kid too. I feel like she's already a really good mom, because in the future, or I should say the outcome position, this is her leaving, traveling, and moving fast. It may be that once she finds a partner who does this for her, who helps her realize, you know what, I deserve far better. I've been in this relationship for too long, and I'm going to choose to change my life for the better, and I'm going to leave. It's possible that she finds a romantic relationship around the time or just before she leaves Justin, and she's going to say, well, now I know what I've been missing out on, and it sucks that I don't have this right now in my life. This is actually suggesting an affair, and I cannot believe that's happening being said. Maybe not necessarily the best course of action, but yes, it will be for her situation. Okay, generally speaking, I don't condone, promote affairs at all, but sometimes the universe does. In this particular case, Justin won't care, and it'll feel good for her, and she'll be coming alive. There is not as much morality in this situation, or in this marriage, or in this culture that they're in. There's not as this. I guess we don't have the same moralities. Okay. Let me just reiterate. I don't condone affairs. I don't promote them. I am delivering messages from the universe, and it's an unusual one, but it's one that I'm going to deliver nonetheless because it was given to me. So that was the state of their marriage. I want to know how he will be as a parent. So let me shuffle cards and I'll be right back. I'm using the 7th sphere Lenormand to look at how he's going to be as a parent. And I pulled just 3 cards because the universe said this is going to be simple. From left to right, I've got the sun, I've got clover, and I've got birds. So right away, it's going to be a messy situation. Quite literally, kids are messy, right? Babies are messy. But I feel like this is going to expose how messy and how dramatic of a person that he can be. He's going to be the type to freak out while Hailey is chill and calm and knows what to do with this kind of situation. Again, I feel like he's taking this really lightheartedly. With this, I know that I don't have the child in here, but I just got such a strong correlation with the tarot sun card, and that has a baby on it. But that's also how Justin feels. He's happy. He's sort of happy, not really. He is the child, and he kind of feels like this could replace him in a weird sort of way. This baby could replace him because he's accustomed to soaking up Hailey's attention, and pretty much all of Hailey's attention is going to be on the baby. There will be a nanny or 2 involved, but she's still going to be obsessed with her new kid. It's going to be an exciting time for her and not so much for him. It's kind of interesting. He's going to make this a dramatic... he's going to make a lot of drama out of this at home, and some of it will leak out in public, and sometimes he'll just be openly showing how annoyed he is with the new baby, with Hailey's connection to him or her, possibly a boy. Okay, they're possibly having a boy. Don't cite me on that. I don't follow either of them on social media. If they are on social media, I don't follow these people. I'm just hoping that they reach their best and highest selves. Hailey looks like she's further down the path than Justin is by a long shot. But yeah, this is pretty much a simple reading. 3 cards, really, really easy. He's kind of surface level with this particular baby coming in, but I do feel like he has some degree of insecurity, and I feel like he's going to have a lot of insecurity about his kids, because later on he's going to feel like, I wasn't the father that they were meant to have, and he's just way too flighty. He's way too flaky to be a good parent. And later he will regret it, but then he won't think too hard about what he can do to become a better parent in that present moment. So just kind of a generally shallow dude. Sorry, I'm trying to get my iPad up. There we go. So what does he really want out of life? That's my 4th question. What does he really want out of life, and what can he do if he isn't getting that? Well, I feel like I've kind of answered my question. I'm going to switch over to my Light Seers Tarot, and I'll be right back. So I pulled 3 tarot cards. What does he really want out of life? He wants affection. He wants an equal give and receive too. But he's not getting it because he's not the kind of person who can get it. He's the kind of person to reap benefits that other people have sowed, and so that's going to be kind of an impossibility for him getting into a give and receive relationship. He says that this is what he wants from Hailey, but then he doesn't contribute any of it of his own, and he's strongly unlikely to be the kind of person to do that, because he's not accustomed to working hard, sowing. He's accustomed to reaping the benefits of other people's hard work. And that includes Hailey's emotional, mental, spiritual labor that she does on behalf of the relationship. She's pulling too much of the weight on her own. This is what he wants to. Literally. Yay! That kind of thing, literally. He likes accolades. He likes the spotlight. And if he can't, well, unfortunately, it's the other people's willingness to give of their hard labor, Hailey included. It's their willingness to give that makes him feel like he's on top of the world. He doesn't have to work hard for the give and receive. He, in a kind of a fucked up kind of way, he thinks what he's doing now is a give and receive because he's Justin Bieber. He makes all these other people's incomes go way up just like he has. But remember that contract. There's something about it that's going to change in the future, that it's going to continue to grow for him. That'll be interesting to see. The tree is rotten. It's diseased. If you go back to the very first question I asked about who is he really, that middle card was the tree. That's about things changing and possibly becoming diseased, falling apart. You know, something that I have to deal with on the farm that I live on are trees falling down. These are massive oaks that have been growing for decades on decades. And when they fall down, you see that the roots spread out, but they never dug deep. So when a big wind comes through, or when we have like just some tornado activity, that can blow over those big, beautiful trees because they're so top heavy. It's easy to blow them over. And that's kind of the imagery that I'm getting, is that it's going to grow to a point where it's not sustainable for Justin anymore. And his youthfulness is a large part of it. There will always be fans who stick around them, but he's rapidly aging and he doesn't know it yet. He certainly doesn't behave like it yet. And his music hasn't acquired a taste that would attract an older audience member, a more discerning audience member yet. Things could always change, but I strongly doubt it. He likes what he's getting right now, and he's got his bag right now. And that's all that he cares about, is the present moment. And to a certain degree, we should all be like that, but not at the point of just saying fuck you to responsibility and our responsibility to ourselves, to come into our highest selves. He would like fall asleep the instant you started talking about trying to reach his highest self. Very shallow, childish, immature character, and he's probably always going to be that way. My last question is, what is Justin Bieber's soul here on earth to do right now during his lifetime? And what can he do to course correct if he isn't doing that? And I'm getting, once again, no more than 3 cards. So I'll be right back. So I pulled Lenormand cards for this last question. The man-child needs to find his own way. When he burns away everything that is valuable to him in the figurative sense, not the literal sense, he can come to an understanding of himself and who he is supposed to be apart from his fans' adoration, apart from feminine adoration, apart from his team. He needs to learn how to be in solitude, alone, separate from other people for extended periods of time so that he can develop a sense of self, because this man-child will never learn anything if he doesn't do that first. Harsh words from spirit, and I've not even gotten onto the Lenormand reading. In the center of this particular 3-card spread, he's got destruction. On the far left side, he's got garden. And on the far right side, he's got whip. Just 3 cards. I don't know why I said far right, far left. He's going to need to destroy his public image. There's something about self-flagellation, like whipping himself, for instance, there's something about this saying, I did so badly, I fucked up so badly that I need to turn things around for my audience, and not just in front. It's going to be in front of the audience too. But it's like, if he's going to course correct, he's going to need to destroy his self-image, and he's going to need to be masochistic about it too. This is kind of interesting. He's such a shallow person. I'm getting to give this again from Spirit. He is such a shallow person that punishment in a role is key. Punishment in a role is key. Make that of what you will. He's accustomed to being such a symbol that he's forgotten what it means to be a human, what it means to be in connection with the universe, in connection with wanting a higher self, because at this point he doesn't even care about that. He needs to be knocked upside the head because he's missing out on cool, neat opportunities to grow into his best and highest self, and he's refusing them all. And Spirit says no more. Okay, folks, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.